This is Into the Deep on Epic Elite.
A Sahagan priest tends a glowing portal here. The portal seems fluid, like water, and you feel you could just step right through it. The priest gestures you to enter. You have met with the rebel leader. Now you must find the 2 elemental prisons that bind the palace protectors. Only then will you be able to reach your objective.
So we're going to go west first and then east. And I always go east just because east comes out on the side where the end fight is, so it's a little closer. A little closer to the end fight where we want to go. So that's why I always do west first and then east. That barrier there, I mean, I think it does keep you out, but we've had an instance where somebody actually was over there fighting, assumed that it was just a barrier, you know, there as it says and as it looks, and then fell in the beginning of the quest. So be careful around that barrier, because I know there's at least one time where somebody fell in, and I don't know the specifics of it. I just know that they fell in, and I think they had to recall out and come back in the quest, or DDO or something to get back. I don't remember how they did it, but if you don't have one of those, you'd have to, you know, if you don't have a DDO, you'd have to recall out. Or do the optional, I guess. I guess that's the other option, is do the optional if it's available.
To your surprise, a drow woman slips out of the shadows. She beckons you closer. Spirits prowling before you radiate both power and great evil. Yet the spirits seem preoccupied with some internal struggle. If you keep your distance, they might not notice. Without a word, another drow scampers into the shadows, seeking Teezera's secret door and freedom. Most of the drow are either dead or on their way now.
And now we can get through this barrier now that we've finished that part. And we might as well get this chest here. It's just a free chest and collectible. And these elementals have some sort of limited range. And I think in the old Epic days, groups who used to try to avoid the elementals if they could, but it's the game's changed, and I think even though they're blind, they still sense us. Like that one was way down there and still sensed us. And so, at least what I found is that there's you could avoid one or two, but you can't avoid all of these. Used to be able to in the old days of Epics. And possibly with the sneak skill, I haven't tried it, but you could probably do it with the sneak skill if you're soloing and you have a good enough sneak. Because I'm sure if they're blind, they probably have a spot 0 or even negative. So my Holy Retribution is not killing 100% now, and that's just the mechanic of the Holy Retribution. Based on the hit points, it's that's Avenging Cleave. It's there's a chance. So over 5,000, it's only a 33% chance, and so I think a lot of these enemies are probably yeah. So Corniver confirmed because he can see the monster manual. Most of these enemies are over 5,000, so my Holy Retribution chance is down to 33%. And the good news is it's not going to get any worse than this, so I'm pretty happy with it at 33% even.
As you move through the room, the water around it begins to bubble. The prison has more guards for you to deal with.
Alright. I'm going to focus on beating this down, and when mobs come, we'll... Oh, better help out. Can be a bit overwhelming. They're all low now. Get back to this. Once this is down, the spawns stop, and it helps us defeat the spawns. Holy Retribution. Got 2 of them. It's about right, 33%. So if I based on the percentage I'm seeing, I feel like my Holy Retribution is almost no fail at this level. And I can get it a little bit higher at level 30 by changing my enhancements around. So that's my plan at level 30, is there's an enhancement I can take that gets me 3 more to my Sunder skill. I'll have to switch some things around to do it, but it probably will be worth it. Alright, so we got one side done. We got the destroy the prison guardians. We have 1 left. There's the other side. So now we're going to come out on the south, I believe. Yep, south, and we want to go east towards the middle east of the map. So that kind of like center area, you could see that's west and east is where the guardians are. I think those dancing might be a Sharadi proc. Yeah, it's called Otto's Whistler. It's a clicky you have from Sharadi. So it's more of an active thing as opposed to a proc. You just click on it and it makes them dance. There's also a stun that can happen. So it's really great for ranged. It's not as much DPS damage compared to some others, but it's great. It's great for this pair because we don't really have a caster CC build, so I get some CC out of my a little bit of CC out of my tree, and he gets a lot of CC out of his Sharadi. So between that, we've got enough to reduce the incoming damage. There's his Otto's Whistler.
Needed these crystals for, it'll be difficult without the Scrag's brute muscle. His personal shield and the barrier to the north vanish. You can take the fight to him personally now.
So once that troll's down, we head up north, up the stairs here, and get the High Mage.
An audible tremor tremor shakes the ground. You sense that some part of the enchantment is now broken. Perhaps now you can investigate the palace defenses.
And there's a shrine over this way. We're not going to use it, but just so you're aware, when you leave this area, you have the opportunity to shrine. And now we're going to head to the end fight. So, well, there's sort of an end fight, and then there's a optional that some people consider the end fight because it's harder than the actual end fight. But we're going to do both of those because, well, we get quest completion either way, and then the optional is the only thing that drops the shards. So the optional is pretty tough. It can be soloed, even on Epic Elite. I think probably would want to be in a good Destiny for it.
You have reduced the forces loyal to Priestess Sleekier. The rebels will have an easier time of it when they make their move. Yet, you could still do more.
Rosy Swamp Pearl.
With the elemental prisons destroyed, the Water Guardians have abandoned their posts at the palace gates. You can now enter.
So this is the palace. It's due north of the center. And up until you do those two sides, you can't get over this way.
You have breached
So the storyline is that there's already been some sort of a coup here.
Established a foothold. A gray-skinned Sahagan captain beckons you closer.
And since I'm melee and Chronovir's range, I'll probably initially start with the ground forces, and he'll start with the ones on top. We've got some allies helping us. There's a Chronovir talk to the other NPC that gets us a little bit of help. So now we have a boss that's going to come down, and a couple elementals. And so this boss has 130,000 hit points. Part of your typed in party chat.
The High Priestess's body lies spent. The demon within roars with frustration.
So I
Its
just got a
post on
message
its
that
plane
I
now lost.
must have gotten my 4th tier, reached the 4th tier. That gives me Shirati Destiny, and I'm still got a ways to go to be capped in this Destiny, but that's great news. Nice, Topaz of Sonic Resistance, a level 20 augment. That could be useful. And so we're finished with the quest. We're now going to go run and do the optional. So when I soloed this optional, I had to switch to my bow to get the portal, and it's a bit of a nuisance. So Chronivere is ranged. So Chronivere is going to be kind of on portal duty. And I'll be focused on the boss fully. And if we keep the portals down, then we won't have to worry about trash, but if we get trash, we'll have to, and by that I mean some demons. If we get some low-level demons helping us out, helping out the boss, we'll have to get them. But if we're able to get the portals quick enough, then that won't be needed. So we get a quick rebuffing by the Bard. So I got Scroll of Boots of the Mire. I'll have to check, see how that is on Epic. I love my heroic version of Boots of the Mire. I still have them for underwater action.
You find yourself in a demon's infernal world, or something close to it. Bubbling hot tar surrounds you. Best watch your step.
So shards of gloves of the claw, that's a good one. We'll see what the bard gets when he comes down. If he happens to get the twisted talisman, then we're going to do a swap of shards, but it looks like that. All right, he does not need shards of the gloves of the claw. I might just delete mine. Um, I'm going to pass it to Chronivere because he might be able to use it, and I don't have. I do not have enough room in my inventory, my bags. He has a bigger bag, and crafting storage, which I don't have yet. So I'm going to give it to him. And that is Into the Deep on Epic Elite.